Hello and welcome to Sin City Soundwaves, where we celebrate growing up in Las Vegas and music memories. Beyond casinos and showrooms are the locals, friends, colleagues, neighbors, people we went to school with, work with, and see every day. We talk about how Vegas has changed, what's the same, the music we listen to now, and what music reminds us of our youth. We talk about who we've seen in concert here in Vegas and who they'd like to see. We ask if there is a quintessential Vegas soul. Tonight, we have Barney Robert Shimp. Barney is 48 years on our Earth rotations. He is a bicentennial baby. He is 182.88 centimeters tall, 124.74 kilograms in his undies. He's been with his wife for 31 years and married for 19 years. He has two boys, Julian, 19, and Jonathan, 13. Barney has been collecting comics since 1989, and that's how we met at Comic-Con. He is the owner of Shimpson's Comics. He is the creator of the Old School Comic-Con and Comic Crawl in Las Vegas. He has been listening to music since he was conceived in the back of a 1967 van while Iron Man was playing. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How are you?
My grandfather said fine and dandy and sweet as candy.
So, tell us what schools you went to here in Vegas.
At a young age, I was in North Las Vegas in apartment complex and then a trailer park. So I can honestly say I'm a little trailer trash here. Went to Myrtle Tate in Von Tobel Junior High and Rancho High School. Graduated in 94. So.
94.
And my little brother, my two brothers, both graduated from Rancho in 98. And even before then, my mom and dad both went to Rancho. Dad graduated in 76 and mom in 77.
The Rancho alums.
Yeah, but my kid, you're not going to tell me it's town.
Do you remember the first piece of music you bought for yourself, like with your own money?
I remember it. So, a store in Vegas called Spice Rick on Las Vegas Boulevard and kind of meet, but they don't cross. Actually, cross more like a crisscross.
Okay.
Thing. So those two streets. Anyway, I started at Spice Ritz, and you go inside, and there's also Thrifties right down the way. But I remember Spice Ritz, and I bought it was the Def Leppard Hysteria tape.
That
Tape. And I bought it because I liked a couple of the songs. It was like $7 if I remember right, something like that. So I bought it and I absolutely fell in love with the song Hysteria. At the time, your kid, Pour Some Sugar on Me was out, Animal, a few other songs, and Armageddon. Listening to the tape and hearing Hysteria for the first time, that one, genuinely, it's absolutely gorgeous. It still resonates with me to this day as that song Hysteria. Def Leppard Hysteria album was the first.
Do you remember how old you were?
88. So
Okay,
I think that album came out in 87, 88, right around there.
Yeah.
Summer of 88 is when I got it. So we used to walk there a little half a mile from the house. And maybe just another time when you could walk to the store and mom and dad didn't follow you. But we'd walk through this whole housing development, through an apartment complex, and then through a desert. And we're on the backside, and you just go around the front. And there you are.
Did you go to the store specifically to buy it, or did you just have money in your pocket and then saw it and went, oh, I want that?
No, we went because we were huge G.I. Joe fans growing up, the 3 3/4 inch. And Spencer, it's always would have Joe's. And I remember I had maybe $15. And I remember I was with my best friend growing up, Ben Suits. I bought a couple of Joe's, but I didn't have enough to buy like a vehicle that I wanted. And so I just saw the tape at the counter and I just bought the tape. I'm sure I probably bought like a score bar or two. So as a kid, if you have money in your pocket, it's burning. You spend every last dime. No more Joes that I wanted. And I had another $8-9 in my pocket. I thought that I can't go home with money in my pocket. Bought the tape, bought a candy bar. And then we just cruised home after that. So
I
remember coming home with it and then putting it in my Walkman and playing it in my Walkman. Listening to it and then playing Nintendo at the same time. And I want to say I was playing Driving Warrior was the name of the game. And I was just listening to that tape over and over I wouldn't even care about whatever the soundtrack or whatever they're saying, because Dragon Ball was a game where it was like scrolling at the bottom. So you had to read everything. It didn't have voiceover, so you would read everything. So I would just play that tape. I started my journey buying tapes with that one, and then buying other tapes. And then all front to back. Growing up, it was a lot of in the radio, but you would have these radios where you would have your own Memorex tape. And you put them in there, you'd have pause you'd have record and play held down.
Yep.
So you push the pause button.
Yep.
And as soon as the radio played the song you wanted, you run over there and hit pause.
Yep.
So you could record that song.
Yes.
And the song would go, you had to wait for the DJ to stop talking.
Yes.
And you would pause it. But then you cut that little bit of DJ out. So then you look at your little counter that's on there.
Yep.
And then time it just right to stop it when the DJ stopped talking. And then you would still record 5 seconds of that's
Yep.
preparing for the next song and do it again.
And you'd hope the DJ would talk over the intro.
You would hope. Because something were bad. Like you would hear the beat.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the DJ like, oh, coming here live in the studios of my mother's garage, burning the airwaves and stuff. And he was like, this time's coming up, and you can hear the beat in the background. Oh, dude, I just want to record this song. He goes right up to the point where
They
he starts talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, how honorable that is. Then just get ready for another time.
You got to wait the hour or so.
Yeah,
Play
you
it
gotta wait for
again.
the rotation. Then you get in the ground, and then you be doing homework or something.
Yeah.
Sure enough, you miss it again.
X definitely knows patience because we had to make our own mix.
I still have mine. I down about 20 of them. And I kept them because you remember you could hold came in, you could open them up, flip them around and write.
Yeah.
And it was every song. And my writing, during COVID, Ben came over and we went through that box, reading off names of songs. Dude, I don't remember this song. We looked it up on YouTube. And, are you serious? I recorded this song, but dude, I love this song, but I didn't.
Did you ever do your own artwork too? That was a thing just to decorate.
I remember that. No, not really. I was very particular. My mom was very monotonous with me writing properly. I've always had very good handwriting. Once I apply it, when I apply it, it looks very nice.
Okay.
And so that's one thing. When I would make those tapes, I would make sure that every one of them had the same writing. The letters were the same height. The lowercase letters were the same height. Everything's alphabetized where it should be.
Okay.
Moving down the list. Right. Barney's Mixtape, Volume 1. And go from there. Kept going.
Did you ever make mixtapes to give to people?
Yeah. Times. I remember making my wife one. Don't remember what I put on it. It wasn't a mixtape. It was later on when you can get CDs.
Okay. Okay.
And when you were able to do that. I don't recall making a mixtape, but I remember making CDs. You know, with the Napster and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was jumping into that. It was so much fun. Downloads. Think of music and start making a list and come home and download all these songs. And where I was working at the time was the Desert Inn Hotel, a resort casino, which is now the Wynn.
Yeah.
And the guy worked in the health spa, and we were all really close. Hey, if you guys want to mix the CDs, let me know. I got 1,000 songs. So then my friend would be there, like, hey, can you make me a CD of this and that? And I'm like, sure. Give me like a few days, and I make a CD for him. Use my CDRW and CDR and my computer. Make it and write down the names of the songs and hand it to him. And then I remember one lady I did for, she asked me to. It was like Peter Gabriel songs. This lady, she wanted to give it back. I'm like, what do you want to give it back for? She said, my husband's not happy that you make me a mix CD.
Okay, that was that.
I'm like,
thing.
yeah. And I'm like, there's nothing. I just made you a CD. I'm the same girl for the years now. Here, someone who's like, no, you know. I wasn't charging them. They were my friends.
Right.
One of the mixtapes. There you go.
I used to make them for my kids in beans. My son really liked bananas. So when he turned 8, I found all these kid songs that were bananas because my kids growing up. All these bananas. And made him a mix CD.
That's fun.
It was fun. They're still my baby.
They always.
Do you remember the first concert you went to?
I feel like it was Adam and a flock of seagulls.
Yeah.
I didn't really know who they were.
Or
Not at the time. I didn't know. I had a friend that she and I were close. She's American, and we started talking and stuff. And she told me she had tickets for a concert, and that's if I wanted to go. And I went with her cousin and her aunt.
Okay.
And then the four of us. I met my mom. Had dropped me off over where she lived, which was on the Indian reservation here in Vegas. And we, Indian tacos for dinner. And then when dinner was over, we drove with her aunt to the Aladdin. And then the four of us just watched the show. And
Did Flock of Seagulls open for
how we had opened.
Really?
So,
Okay.
and so from what I recall, I think I was 15, 16.
Okay.
And so this is, 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
So from what I remember though, Alan opened. I remember he was a wild man. Having a giant speaker and singing, jumping down, just being an insane guy. I'm watching him. Man, I know these songs from the play on the radio. The Blocker Seagulls, of course, they come out and the hair is
The hair.
and stuff. Yeah. It's just strange. But then they played one song I knew. And I'm like, oh,
One
no,
hit
this
wonder.
good song, a good song. I didn't really know any of the other ones. I was hanging out with friends. It's on my head. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Concert was over. We went home. My mom came pick me up. And that came me into that. So she and I remained friends, but it didn't go anywhere. So we're still friends.
Who has not played Vegas that you would like to see?
You know what's strange? I thought, who hasn't played Vegas? I was trying to rack my brain. Who has not come to Vegas? To the point where I'm like, I don't know who's ever come to Vegas. So I actually did a quick Google.
Yeah.
I cheated. I was like, I got it. Which music performers have never played in Vegas? Do you know what the answer was? Do you know what? Pink Floyd has never played in Vegas. Once I saw that, I'm like, that's why I want Pink Floyd. That's why
I've been fortunate to see pretty much everybody I wanted to see, except I will never get to see the original lineup for Queen. Freddie Mercury's gone. I never got to see Prince. So for me, it's people who've already passed that I just won't get to see. Pink Floyd.
That's a cheap question. I would automatically say the Beatles. Over anyone, the Beatles. But the Beatles played in Vegas. So who hasn't played in Vegas? Yeah. Pink Floyd. That's what I would want. Take my father to there.
Okay. Who's your favorite concert you've seen here?
Lollapalooza, 94.
Okay.
That was bonkers. George Clinton.
He's always good. Oh my gosh, he's such a master.
BC Boys, which I got all the way to the front stage. MCA gave me 5. I was reaching over the wooden platform, reached out, gave me down, and I brought my hand back, and it was a nail, and it sliced my hand open. Security sees I'm bleeding. BC Boys just started their set. 3 songs in. Security grabs me, pulls me over the top, takes me to first aid, and I missed the rest of the whole concert. Favorite. Pumpkins played.
Yeah.
Breeders. A Tribe Called Quest. Whitney Weeps, probably the best concert. And the collab, which Drapery, most fun concert I ever went to. I'm not a fan of theirs, but I had a good friend that was a gigolo.
Yeah,
I never really cared for him, but he loved them. He came to the 100. He ended up he bought 10 tickets for all of us. He's like, we're all getting So we went to that concert, and they're spraying bingo on the crowd, and I did some unmentionables. I don't know how deep this episode should go.
All right, it's all right.
So
an adult.
I could be a bad kid at times. Did something in the mosh pit and just watch people fall in it. And it's not what we were thinking, but it is close. So
did anybody leave a tooth? I was in a mosh pit where a guy lost a tooth, and I'm like, I'm out.
No, I remember there was 10 of us deep, and there was like no one is that.
Okay.
It's because people take care of each other.
No, the one I was at 9 Inch Nails, and it was brutal.
You take care of each other, but you will find that asshole that's on there on occasion.
Yeah.
But then he becomes a target. And if there's, usually when we go to concerts, there'll be 7, 8, 9, 10 of us.
Yeah.
And you find that one asshole. Now he's a target.
Yeah.
And we're pulling in the market. Now, then he gets the left hook to the side of the head. And someone else does it. Especially if they go after a girl that's in the
I was the only girl in it. I was with a friend, her husband. She didn't want to go. He was my best friend, and he wanted to go, and I wanted to go. And she's go with him, go with Paul. And he's keep your elbows up. There was a guy in front of me, and he came up, and he had blood pouring down the top of his head. And the guy in front of him lost his tooth, and he just come up really fast and lost his tooth. Yeah, and then they started punching each other. And Paul goes, keep your elbows up and stay on the inside, because it gets worse the further out you are. And they started punching, and he goes, all right. And he carried me out with it. That was it. It just got worse from there. I stayed out. He went back in. About 10 minutes later, the 2 guys who were punching each other were best friends again. And I'm just like, man. It was like,
actually take care of each other. You'll get that one asshole.
But I wanted out of it. Yeah.
I've probably been 80 to 100 concerts. And I'm actually wearing the same shoes I wore at those concerts.
Oh, there you go.
My little 8-eye Doc Martens, black ones that I bought was one of my first. These are the same shoes I've had since '94, one of my first paychecks.
Yeah.
Here we are 30 years later, my shoes still fit.
That's why you wear Doc Martens.
30 years
Plug
later.
for Doc Martens.
But we were actually, you've probably heard of this, a big group of us, about 15, we were at Tenacious D concert at the House of Blues, and there was a stabbing. Those were my friends, my good friends, Kevin and Mark, stabbed in the leg. Never figured out who the hell
He did it, yeah.
But my one brother actually found him, chased him down the hallway. They were jumping into a cab. My brother got 4 or 5 licks right in his face before they drove away. But we never knew anything else after that. Our friends got taken to the hospital. They were fine. That was us.
Okay.
Tenacious D.
What artist is emblematic of your Vegas memories and why? Like what song or artist takes you back to high school, junior high, or a certain moment?
What takes me back is Stone Temple Pilots.
Okay.
It was the core album. And it was something I wasn't into the alternative scene yet.
Okay.
I was still radio music, some NWA that my friends would get and listen to, and then rock, Def Leppard, and weird white things, stuff like that. Hearing my wife introducing me to Stone Temple Pilots, I thought Violent Femmes was a group of women. And about her since when we first started dating. Her introducing that to me opened my eyes to a whole new genre of music. 90s alternative is my absolute favorite. I love it because I hear it so much. I just get tired of it.
Yes.
You know, I can start going back and listening to older stuff. Then I'll come back on Tuesday and listen to some 90s music stuff. Stone Temple Pilots, Korn was big for us. You know, going to the concerts of Stone Temple Pilots or Korn back in the 90s. And the Beastie Boys, whether it's the Communication album, Check Your Head, all of them, they just hit us.
Is there places you hung out in high school?
All right, I'm going to name some places. You ready? Mary.
Yes.
The ultimate video game spot before anybody knew about it. And it was the Commercial Center.
Commercial Center.
Right down in the same shopping plaza. You got the Q Club. It's still there.
Off Sahara Avenue. You have to explain where's that for people who may not be from Vegas.
I'm on Sahara between
East Sahara.
The East Sahara between Las Vegas Boulevard and Eastern. It's a huge shopping plaza. The green door is there. They have you to know what the green door is.
It's not. Look it up.
It's not. Yeah,
it's probably the only thing keeping that shopping center alive.
I'll say probably that's free places. New York City.
I know they did this. New York City Pizza used to be owned by my son's karate senpai, John Arena. They sold it long ago and started Metro Pizza. Yeah. You know, we used to hang out there in high school because it used to be around the corner from our high school. We had an open campus and we used to get a slice and soda at lunch and go back to high school because we could do it.
What high school was
Chaparral.
Oh, you were Chaparral. I was Rancho, and the New York City Pizza we would go to was right there.
Right around the corner. John is smart. Put him right in every high school.
Yeah, because that's
$3 you could get
price soda. Yeah.
And you could get back to school.
And we see lots of fights in there too. That's part of why Wimpy's.
Yeah.
I remember that as a kid, a giant head over there off Las Vegas Boulevard. The neighborhood I grew up in. And it was like a drive-in. What Sonic has now. But it was a drive-in. The original Wet and Wild.
Off of right next to Sahara.
Yeah, you would look at the
Sahara Hotel.
You would look at the Sahara Hotel, and they had a clock on top.
Yep.
That's how you
knew the temperature because they
would
the
rotate
temperature there. Yep.
But the original Wet and Wild, because we had gone to high school and that place was being open. We had friends that were working there. They would come in line, get free drinks, teachers talking to girls all day. Mom would drop you off in the morning
and pick
you up when it closes.
Yeah.
The fun part was when we would be part of a group that would have extended hours because they'd have this section and it would have free food all day and drink.
Yeah.
And when we were lucky enough to have someone that was a part of it, get those special wristbands, everyone, 8 o'clock, everyone's got to go home. This part's open for another 2 hours.
That's exactly right.
Now you're going to Dare Stuka, there's no line. Now you're jumping out to Dare Stuka, but you're not supposed to wait. You do it anyway. I just have a blast.
And no parents, because parents would just drop you off. Again, they get a helicopter. They would go about their day.
Luckily, my brothers, we were only a few years apart. We would be also like, oh, you got to go. We're going to drop you off, but keep an eye on your brother. These two doesn't want to go on these rides. So you make them go on the ride. But yeah, I remember they had trials. Remember Crystal Pepsi?
Yeah.
I remember Wetting Wild having the gin come up to try.
And trying the Crystal Pepsi and couldn't tell the difference between.
I remember it. It was Pepsi, but clear.
You're right.
The greatest gimmick ever. I bought a Pepsi shorts because of this thing. Crystal Pepsi in the area. And well, so.
Did you hang out at any bowling places? We were close to Sandstown. People would go to the.
Oh, yeah, my shop, bro. You were right there.
Yeah.
Silver Nugget. And so that's where my side of town growing up. So we would go Silver Nugget. Yeah. And I can remember Sarahstown. I remember on occasion long.
Yeah, we'd go to Sarahstown.
We had to learn, because that was back when they didn't have automatic. It would you had to learn how to keep score.
Correct.
So yeah. So we knew how to keep score. And for one Christmas, Mom and Dad got my brothers and I our own bowling ball with our engraved name. Okay. Because they wanted to put us in bowling leagues. We're actually pretty decent.
I remember hanging out downtown before they covered it up and you couldn't drive. We just hanged, and it wasn't freaky then. You could just kind of.
I remember that too. My mom, the cook at Fitzgerald's, is now the D. She was the cook there. As we got to high school, we started driving. Go up there. Mom,
and we didn't have a curfew then. You'd wait till after midnight and go to Binion's and get the $1.90. So steaks.
So Fitzgerald, because Mom was a graveyard. She'd find out we'd go in the coffee shop and she's like, "Hey, tell Chris Shimp that we're here. Her boys are here." And she'd come out, "Oh, hey, what you want tonight?" And I want a burrito, but I want, "Oh, I got you." All of us would order. Mom goes back, takes care of it. Every 5 minutes, she's coming up. This is my boy. Introducing us to someone she worked with. And I'm like, "Oh, there's somebody else though." And so on night, she'd go back and cook. You go finish cooking for my boy. Let's sit down a little bit. She sit down with us. And Mom always just took good care of us. But I remember downtown the way it was.
The way it was.
Yeah. Fun now, but we'll never get
free stuff. Any places that you miss that we don't have anymore?
Thinking of those.
Yeah.
An actual Thrifties, because the Thrifties we had growing up then, 40 players of white, and just double chocolate mold, crunch, and mid chocolate chips. And having a Thrifties where my mom would take me there, she'd want to play the nickel machines, which is, as soon as you walk in, the nickel machines are sitting right there, video poker. But the Thrifty cream was across, and a spinner rack of comics in there. So she would give me $5. You'd get a double scoop of ice cream from 99 cents.
I was going to say $1.49 or $6. Yeah.
And that's been the other $4 on 4 comics. So they were up 25 cents or $1. Then I would just, next to the counter, the ice cream, raise comics. If I was still playing, if doing good, she'd give me another $5. I get another ice cream with 4 more comics. If she lost, it's time to go. Let's go.
Did your mom ever sit at the grocery store with a cart full of groceries?
Another memory of that. You don't know if it's real or not.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Because it's something she would go. I remember being taking a nap.
The noise from all of the machines, because it was back before they were automated. So you would constantly hear the coins dropping. Yeah. Everywhere. Grocery stores, gas stations. It was just the jingle of it all.
Yeah. And now in the time being 18, 19 and going on the strip.
Yeah.
And you would go to like Barbary Coast, O'Shea's, and we had a nickel machine, and we were only 19. We would find a nickel machine, but we would do it, wait till the cocktail wait. We would put like one in, and then wait till the cocktail waitress comes around. "Oh, can I get 2 double white Russians?" Be like, "Sure." And go right back. And she'd put another in and play. As soon as she walks away, I'm done playing. I only got $7 for one.
It's all right.
It's crazy to get jack shot. White Russians. I remember those times.
Lots of fun.
The yardstick of long tea.
Or go and get the Mega Weenie, 99 cents, foot long hot dogs. That was the college thing. No money.
He'd break in the house. Here's yours. Here's one.
Get through the chinny. You had no money.
Oh, yeah. And we used to go around in the casino. She did this too. We'd go around looking inside the bucket. People would leave stuff when still in the machine, or they would leave a bucket of like a few quarters sitting in the bucket that you would get. Yeah. We'd just go around collecting all that.
Or back when they had glass ashtrays and actual matchbooks and things like that. Yeah.
And now I'm one at Barney's Casino. I think it was somewhere up in northern Nevada.
Yeah. I still have glass ashtrays from Caesar's Palace.
Creation. Take work for those things.
But I was
more social.
There's something.
Well, my brother had the Fitzgerald's one.
I think we have some from. That's a local's place. Sentimental. Very sentimental. What's a song that you really liked when you were younger, but doesn't hold the same appeal for you now?
Mentioned earlier, Def Leppard, Forcing Sugar on Me.
Okay.
At the time when it came out, like, what is it? Now to it, it's complete gibberish. And I'm like, he is saying nothing. He just screamed, and it was the video that propelled it.
Okay.
Joe Elliott up there with the United Kingdom t-shirt and the holy G, and wagging around the guitar line. And it's a nonsensical song.
That was the song that broke them through on into the pop market.
I'm pretty sure it was. I hear it now, and it's, for the most part, if it comes on, and if I'm driving, it comes on, I'm like, I'm like, I didn't know you're still singing. It's 40 years later, I still don't know what you're singing. So I just move on from there.
Do you have a song or an album that you think is really underrated?
Crow soundtrack.
Which one?
The original Brandon Lee Crow soundtrack.
I love that soundtrack. I adore that sound.
The Cure, Stone Temple Pilots, Rollins Band,
Yeah. Great.
Nine Inch Nails,
Yeah.
Violent Femmes, Pantera,
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine. I don't know if it's really underrated, but
It's a good one.
you talk about like soundtracks. That was an era where soundtracks really meant something. That soundtrack, Spawn soundtrack, the original one. There's a few from the 90s that are just, the soundtracks from some of those were just ridiculous. Could you have, so many different bands of that era, even though they're maybe the same genre, to just have them hear a new original song. And, for the most part, every single one of them is some kind of fantastic song.
Yeah.
And so probably the Crow soundtrack, which I could still listen to front to back to this day.
A lot of emotions in those songs, really emotional. Is there a song or an album that you enjoy that people might be surprised to hear that you like?
The Juice soundtrack. Juice, called Juice, and Omar Epps and Tupac Shakur. It was about the underground DJ scene in New York, and a group of 4 friends, and how one of them just took it too seriously and ended up committing crimes and turning on his friends. In the end, gaining the power. We call it the juice. Now you got the juice.
We call juice in Vegas something.
So yeah, that was one. Only because the time when that came out in high school, it was my friend Damon Westfall, one of my best friends. We had another friend named Sean who moved from Chicago. He grew up on these horrible streets of Chicago. And Sean introducing me to more of the Black community of music. Sean was really showing me the other stuff. Eric B., Rakim, EPMD, Tribe Called Quest. Sean really introduced. I was listening to alternative music at the same time I'm listening to this 90s hip. It opened a whole new level where my eyes were set the popular stuff. That soundtrack with a lot of those players coming out, and the 3 of us going to that movie and watching that movie. But what resonates the most is a few months later, after that movie came out, Sean had to move back to Chicago. And a week later, we get a phone call that he was murdered in Chicago. It's very personal to hear, watch that movie, see, and listen to that soundtrack for Damon and I, because it automatically pulls us back to Sean. Sure. And he was only with us for 1 year, but there was a bond that just came on between the 3 of us when he moved out here. But it was something about those 4 people on the movie and how they turned on each other. The 3 of us, I'll never miss you, bro. I love you, man. I love you too, man. To have that happen, that soundtrack is always just sat there.
It's amazing to me how music brings people together. It's something that really bonds people on a very visceral level that transcends words. There's moments that words just fail, and music, I think, fills those spaces.
And you can almost put 2 people that are completely different and just put on, just listen to this song.
Yeah.
And listen to the words.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're like, I see where you're coming from.
You don't have to say anything. Just let it wash over you.
And bob your head a little. So
what's the record that means the most to you?
Probably going back to the Stone Temple Pilots core album, because my wife gave me that one and just being thrust into that whole world of alternative music. So as much as I just talked about the Juice soundtrack, the Stone Temple Pilots one kicked me off into alternative music, alternative rock of the 90s. Saw a different side of music. Still being with my wife 31 years later, that music brought us together. You talk about music bringing people together. She listened to all that already. So me coming on board and listening to it with her, now understanding it, but liking it even more. Here we are loving each other for 31 years. She doesn't listen to that anymore. Hers is more 80s stuff, like Morrissey, the Smiths, The Cure. I love this. But put on Erasure, and my wife melts. You can put on Alice in Chains, and I'm just, this is one.
Yeah.
I'm right there with her. So, but it's more, that means more because of what it did for her and I together.
Yeah.
31 years later.
Did you play Stone Temple Pilots at your wedding?
No, we had Mount Charleston.
I think elopements are more romantic.
She was maybe 6 months pregnant with our first son. Her father had passed away a couple years before that. And she said she always promised her father she would never have a child out of wedlock. So she said, we're going to get married. I'm like, okay. I think that's
So
a big
she
part.
asked you?
We talked about it. I ended up proposing. People ask, how do you last for 31 years? I don't know the official answer, but one thing is my wife says, I want to do this or you can't do that. It doesn't matter. You want to go to this? Okay. I'm easygoing, just whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
She said, we're going to go to San Diego next weekend. And you're going to drive the whole time. Okay. That's part of how you last for 31 years. Let your wife do whatever she wants to do, what she tells you.
Sounds like you're happy already.
I love my wife beyond words.
What's a song or album you love which isn't liked by maybe popular opinion or popular consensus?
Thought about this one, but I don't know why.
So very deep, very personal.
Very much.
Wow.
And there's songs on there, they're phenomenal beats and the music still being with my wife 31 years later. That music brought us together. You talk about music bringing people together. She listened to all that already. So me coming on board and listening to it with her, now understanding it, but liking it even more. Here we are loving each other for 31 years. She doesn't listen to that anymore. Hers is more 80s stuff, like Morrissey, the Smiths, The Cure. I love this. But put on Erasure and my wife melts. You can put on Alice in Chains and I'm just this is one.
Yeah.
I'm right there with her. So, but it's more, that means more because of what it did for her and I together.
Yeah.
31 years later.
Did you play Stone Temple Pilots at your wedding?
No. We had Mount Charleston.
I think elopements are more romantic.
She was maybe 6 months pregnant with our first son. Her father had passed away a couple years before that. And she said she always promised her father she would never have a child out of wedlock. So she said, we're going to get married. I'm like, okay. I think that's a big
she
part.
asked you?
We talked about it. I ended up proposing. People ask, how do you last for 31 years? I don't know the official answer, but one thing is my wife says, I want to do this or you can't do that. It doesn't matter. You want to go to this? Okay. I'm easygoing, just whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
She said, we're going to go to San Diego next weekend. And you're going to drive the whole time. Okay. That's part of how you last for 31 years. Let your wife do whatever she wants to do, what she tells you.
Sounds like you're happy already.
I love my wife beyond words.
What's a song or album you love which isn't liked by maybe popular opinion or popular consensus?
For whatever reason, when I read the question, to answer the question, in my mind, ABBA, in my head.
Okay.
I don't know if it really is loved by popular consensus.
A lot of people like it, but maybe your buddies will be like,
almost my circle of friends. That song comes on, there's something that ignites in me. And I'm just a different person. And I got to switch all of a sudden. My hands are flailing, snapping.
Are you dancing?
And I'm dancing. That song comes on, I start dancing. Because this is a dancing queen. I'm spinning around in circles.
Next time I see you at Comic-Con, I'm going to remember that.
That song just does it. We do the ice fishing trip every year. That song comes on. I'm you jump up and dance.
Do they tease you and put that on?
They don't, because there's another song that they get more of a rise and reaction out of my brother up in plays.
Okay.
So they save that for him.
Okay.
Because they know me. I am not ashamed. I am not afraid. I'm not scared. I don't get embarrassed. Put me in front of a crowd. I could care less.
You'll perform.
I don't care. I don't care who's in the bar that we go to. I'm performing. I'm pulling shirts.
Yeah.
Throwing my shoes and socks. No problems.
There's also this thing that maybe some of our listeners don't know who don't know you. There's something about people faking your ass in public that I learned. The Comic-Con guy will just come up and smack you right and left.
All of a sudden I get a butt cheek.
That's how I first met you. You came to our booth and we had all these comic books and you were pouring over them and some guy smacked you hard and you didn't even...
Yes. I think, in my mind, I think it's actually one of 12 different people.
Apparently, it's a thing.
They're all guys. I've never had a woman respect. And I respect my life.
But they seem to think this seems great fun just to walk up and
It's only gotten bigger. There's actually touching gravity taps. It sounds like they're like
realize
a
that.
little caress, you know.
Okay.
Like, you know what? That's really nice.
Do they at least buy you a beverage or something?
Usually it turns around, give them a hug, give them a squeeze back. So it becomes almost like a who's going to go first. If the roles were reversed and they were looking, I believe something happening. You're not standing there, bending over and looking at comic books in the back of the box, and nothing's going to happen. It's only guys, which is strange.
Yeah.
But then it's not, because we're guys.
We'll just have to remember to put Dancing Queen on and see what happens. Do you have a song you think is the sexiest record?
Maxwell, Urban Hang Suite.
I didn't even hesitate on that.
I knew immediately the way he sings and the way Maxwell, does songs. And not that a woman having a record can be sexy, because I think Sade is absolutely just
She's breathy boy.
And, oh my gosh, hair stand up, and you just close your eyes and you can just hear beautiful that comes out of it. But when you say sexy, it's different. And Maxwell, the way he sings his songs, the rhythms behind him, the way he puts them to him, just another one that starts going. All of a sudden, I'm popping up from a table and I'm just all along with it. So doing my best impression of Magic Mike there. So
I don't know if I want to see that. If you had to choose a song that represents vintage Vegas, people think of the Rat Pack.
Yeah, not for me. That didn't want to come to mind.
Okay.
Mr. Vegas, Wayne Newton, and then Dankeschön. Even though it's a German word.
We call Wayne Newton Mr. Vegas.
I've seen him in concert. I think Wayne Newton, Mr. Vegas. Dankeschön.
Mr. Child.
One of his most famous songs.
Right. What is the one Vegas artist album everyone should have?
There was a band, very dear friends growing up in the 80s, that formed their own band, Opium.
Okay.
They had their own songs, but they did a cover for Send Me an Angel. Send me an angel. Where they would go to bars around Vegas and play. And they were a heavier rock band, like Deftones is a lot of their influences. But when that song would come on, you would see girls from the back of the room come flying up to hear this song. And as soon as they go, send me an angel, the whole crowd, angel. And it was every single time. For that scene, they had to be at that time for a good 6 month period. The most epic in Vegas.
Nice.
People just adored it. And when they heard that song, all the rest of the good songs, play Send Me an Angel, people just went gaga over it. If you can find Opium, and
Mid-90s.
about 90s, 97 years.
Okay. Mr. Barney, what do you got coming up?
The Old School Comic Con on Sunday, September 1st at the Rainbow Library. In December, another Simpsons pop-up show / Great Comic Crawl. And so the Great Comic Crawl is one I created that gives every store in Vegas like a checklist. And each person goes around to all these different stores. They'll have gifts for them. They'll have big prizes or sales at the store. They get a stamp on their checklist, and whoever can fill up the most stamps gets entered to win gift cards coming to these shows. It's just it's a way in the holiday season send people to our friends' stores around Vegas and have fun. So the Vegas Valley Library Festival is coming. It's in its 14th or 15th year.
When is that?
It's always the first Saturday in November.
Okay.
Is the Vegas Valley Library Festival.
So
we should be in.
Okay.
I can't confirm because we haven't officially. We've been doing it for the last 7 years now.
Yeah.
But every year we're going to review applicants, and you may not make it. No, you'll make it. You get kids get comics, and you're nice. One day, what if they say no?
You're always out at the Boulder City
Spring
Jamboree.
Right.
Too.
So we did not get to go this year. I ended up getting a back injury. My brother ended up getting sick. We couldn't make it.
Dang it. Yeah.
That was fun.
That is
we
fun.
don't make any money.
Right.
It's give us a raise to set up a booth and drink beer.
Yeah, goes to that.
Goes too. So.
Yeah.
Then we have all kinds of family that come out. We bring their dogs out and
The coolers.
play domino.
You can also follow Shimshon's Comics on social media. They're on Instagram, Facebook. Are you? That's it. Those are the only two.
Those are the only two.
Okay.
We're
Those are
happy
the
with-
important. Okay.
He's finding some seat finder on.
Thank you for listening to Sin City Soundwaves. Please support us as we get going with podcasts by giving us a follow on social media and recommending us to friends and colleagues.
To follow the Sin City Soundwaves podcast on our social media at Facebook, Instagram, Linktree, and X. Sin City Soundwaves podcast is a production of Thirsty Sin Productions, created, hosted, mixed, and engineered by Denise Shaw, PhD, produced and written by Denise Shaw, PhD. Find out more about episodes and our sponsors on all social media platforms through the Sin City Soundwaves podcast Linktree.